or not make the song. You're gonna make the song. You're too close, man. Too close.
I was just gonna say that.
And here goes with 3 dicks in.
Oh, excuse me.
Welcome back, baby faces. This is Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots. I'm Vic the Villain, and we about to go round table, see who came out with us this week.
Mischief, you heard?
Elite Steve.
Old school Joel.
JP Savage here.
Pretty chubby Flacco. What up, fellas?
Oof. And we back with some more of that wrestling fix for y'all. This week we about to get a little extreme. Gonna cover the greatest, well, I want to say extreme matches. What are we gonna talk about today, guys? We're gonna cover specifics on this.
We gotta define what an extreme match means. Like, does it mean it's a hardcore match?
Yeah.
Is there blood?
Not necessary, but
Blood is not necessary, but it's highly recommended. Same for weapons.
Yes, agreed.
Definitely don't DQ.
Listen, man, as long as they breaking a bunch of toothpicks, we're good. Like,
On a
it's
pole.
extreme.
And we're not
Oh,
gonna cover.
no.
And this isn't just also all of the extreme matches from Extreme Rules pay-per-views in history, or just ECW related, or
Because let's be honest, they're not all that great.
No.
And you know what? We'll talk about that in the go home.
That's being very polite,
Agreed.
Steve.
For Extreme Rule.
Agreed.
Here you do
agreed.
Mischief.
So what exactly is our criteria for these extreme matches? We're talking about they have to may or may not have blood, right?
May or may not have weapons.
right? But so that means that at least one of the matches that we're going to talk about is not going to include all of the above, right?
I don't know. Let's start making that list and find out.
All right. So we're talking about storylines, right?
Yeah, it's got to be
Storyline
storyline.
has to be.
That will play a
It
part.
has to play a big role, right?
It has to be a blowout.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said.
Hey,
Hey.
Several times.
See.
But
before all that,
We know we got to cover some TV.
Of course.
So let's go into it, guys. Raw opens up with
and it's over. Raw was over. Oh
Listen,
my
man.
God! What a waste of time.
It's
what,
like
you didn't like Roman is Raw?
no, not at all.
Yeah,
It's like I think Vincent Mattis is trying to go see now. He usually has his finger on the pulse of what the WWE universe wants to see or what they don't want to see, and he is just gave us 49 minutes of Roman ass Reigns, right?
Yo, so
Jesus.
I had a lot to say on Twitter
Did you?
to the Roman Reigns fans.
Did you?
Right, that's
I don't know,
right.
man. I kind of saw that, that HPC Too Sweet, or is it the HPC podcast we got going on?
No, it's
HPC too
You're right the
sweet
first time, Daddy.
Right
on
Twitter.
IG, on Twitter.
I saw that notification going crazy, bro. People's feelings were hurt.
Oh,
See,
disrespect.
the thing is, right? Roman Reigns is a good wrestler.
Yes,
He's a good wrestler.
Yes.
He's a nice guy,
he's
man.
gotten better on the mic.
Yeah, he's gotten better on the mic.
He's got the look.
He's
right?
not the guy.
Never was,
He's
never will
not the
be.
guy. He's not. He's this really, really solid guy. Makes a great third on your team.
You know why Roman Reigns is so bad? He made me wish we saw more of John Cena.
Wow.
Damn.
No,
Straight facts.
And he was
Straight
number one in
facts.
our Champions list last week. Very
Oh,
arguable,
that's
right? Very controversial.
Another controversial thing we did last week was that list. And we're getting backlash for it.
Oh, we'll get a little bit slap on the wrist with that one. I don't know,
Shout
man.
out
Slap on
to
the
the
wrist.
fans for being a little vocal.
Shout out to the
a little more vocal this
All
week,
you
but-
baby faces, y'all
Baby
sound
faces.
real hurt
Very hurt.
about our decisions.
We got some ice packs for
Wah. I don't think I agree. Tough cookies.
Did you guys not think of the name of this podcast? What are you even listening?
Heels
And chair shots. And that's
We're
a
not
perfect
here.
segue.
We're not here to talk about no baby faces, so get out of here. Roman Reigns can eat it.
Eat a bag
moving
of
on
crow.
to Raw and getting past that soap opera recap
Still?
with the crappy crap that Reigns and Lashley went through. Looked like a bad episode of All My Children. Curtis Axel defeated Matt Hardy after that.
Shout out to Bray Wyatt.
Shout out to Bray Wyatt. He was in an accident.
Racking up them
Multiple
charges.
injuries.
Oh, God.
Man.
I heard he was distracted.
Yeah.
Shout out to JoJo.
I think we'd all be a little distracted.
Hey, Jojo, if you're listening,
It's not a
we
thing,
apologize.
JoJo, you
Allegedly.
be talking to my mic.
You excited?
Dominicano soy.
So we can't have nice
De
things.
mis raíces nunca me olvidarme.
Whatever that means.
We're off the rails.
Right. But Wyatt was cited for careless driving due to his failing to operate a vehicle in careful and prudent manner. It was a three-car collision. It was actually his fault when he rear-ended the car in front of him, which caused it to go forward and hit a third car on the left side of the road.
But was JoJo in the car?
That is a good question.
We need to make sure she's safe.
I would have much rather watched that than any of Raw.
Oh my God.
I would have
Agreed.
much rather
I would've-
watched poor Bray Wyatt
I
get
would've-
into a car accident.
I
A
think-
civilian.
I would've
I'm not
rather-
gonna lie.
Not that I want him to get injured.
Of course not.
I would just rather watch anything else.
You know what would have been more interesting? A 24/7 coverage on the Bray Wyatt accident.
Just-
Coming to you live
Yeah,
after the
that
scene has been
breaking
cleared.
news. Breaking news.
Bars.
We saw one of JoJo's curls in the back seat.
Yeah, I definitely like what I see here with Axel and the beat scene.
Yeah, man.
It's I guess they're still over as a either face or heel tag team.
I don't know, Vic the villain. You were talking about that. You saw a little bit of heelish turn from
Dude,
Axel.
I saw him turn to a crowd, to a fan, and just tell him to shut up, and then proceeded to punch.
It's so much fun to be a heel.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. I mean, but this is like the first I actually see of them doing something like that. Like they've been kind of over and kind of pushed as like the jobber team that's making it now.
Man, they got a little streak going.
Yeah,
They got it going. I
They
like
give them their credits due. It's due time.
Yeah.
You know what? It's gonna be interesting whether they play this real life situation because they mentioned that Bray Wyatt was hurt. So I wonder if they're gonna play this into the actual like.
That's the button, right?
Not only that, but are the B team about to come after them? Like, yo, what happened to your boy? You know what I mean?
And I think we can all agree that Bo
The whole
looked pretty dope.
has
Wyatt.
looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Has looked every week he's done it. It's
He's
fantastic.
He's doing a great job.
I'm telling you, he's teasing on my fucking Thanksgiving.
More credit to that because after that we were unfortunate enough to be cited with a Lashley promo that sucked.
I hereby motion to never speak the name of.
Second movie.
Well, you might want to skip this one too. It was the Bailey Sasha
So,
segment.
Yo,
everything about this whole Sasha Bailey feud
Tell him the
has
shit.
been run incorrectly from the very beginning. I don't understand why you got Bailey, who really needs a push, and she had a very, very nice push, right, with this turn. It was a very nice turn. It was very aggressive. It was a very big change of pace for Bailey, and I think the crowd got behind it, and I think it put some fire up their ass, and I think the people got invested in this whole spiel, and then you comedied it up, and you took a big old fat dump on it,
Yes.
and you put Dr. Shelby, the comedy routine from a bunch of years ago.
5 years ago.
It's so flat.
It's so flat. It wasn't good. I know later on in the show, well, we're gonna cover it, right? Like they had another segment that was a
Listen.
little funnier than the first.
Listen, that segment is the reason why people are afraid to go to therapy. Okay, that was terrible.
It'll make me go to therapy.
The difference was when they did it with Team Hell No, it actually worked. But with this particular
But
feud, it didn't
did it?
work. I mean, it worked better than it worked with this.
I think Team Hell No is more of a nostalgia act, and they never were as great as
That's-
people make it
But
out to be.
that's what it is. They were a comedic, routine. And Sasha and Bailey is not comedic. It's supposed to be a
Shouldn't
feud.
It is now.
but can we go back a few months ago when Kurt Angle was like, "Oh, we settle everything in the ring"? Why is he here?
And then in the very same show, you have Braun Strowman running roughshod
Not
all
only
over
that,
the whole roster.
not only that, like Kurt Angle just got assaulted by Ronda Rousey. She didn't go to fucking therapy.
Because she's suspended.
Facts.
Man?
Austin would have gotten arrested.
There's no. So if you follow us, on
Titus O'Neil
Twitter-
got suspended for less.
Seriously. Literally.
Come on now.
Right? If you follow us on Twitter at HPC2 Sweet, right? You'd know how bad this Raw was, and this Raw was terrible.
And continuing that point, AOP comes out, coming from a victory over some jobbers last week, come out and they face some jobbers this week. Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews.
You know what I realized when I saw them coming down? They're missing Parlery.
Definitely.
Definitely do.
Yeah,
This week, them
definitely.
coming back,
It's-
that's exactly what. That's upon them coming out. I was like,
I didn't think so either. I didn't think they were gonna miss him. I thought it would be fine.
it was like
But-
glaring.
Nah,
It's
man.
it's just the way they've been
Even-
booked right now, man. Like they were barely on TV a couple
Mhm.
weeks ago. Why should we really care?
It would have been an opportune moment to bring him back.
Yeah,
Drew
exactly.
McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler versus Roman
Woo!
Reigns, Seth Rollins.
Money.
title match.
Best matches on TV.
Money.
Yeah. Old school. Did you catch any of that?
Oh, I caught bits and pieces of it, but I mean, can't we just say that the tandem of McIntyre and Ziggler are what we're looking for on Raw instead of the 90 minutes of Reigns?
Oh, God.
Agreed.
We got
Agreed. I think they need to be involved more. I think they need to be chasing after multiple titles.
There is a fire under their ass right now.
Yeah.
Like they are getting it done.
It was a great match. The crowd got hyped. Seth hit a crossbody up the top rope to Ziggler and McIntyre, which I like.
Are we? Is there a match scheduled already for Extreme Rules?
Yeah.
I'm not
Because
sure.
I think we're gonna see that tag team match.
I wouldn't
We're gonna
mind
see
seeing it.
Reigns,
I wouldn't be
Rollins versus
surprised.
Ziggler and
I really
McIntyre.
wouldn't be
I'd be down. I'd be down to see
What
that.
else is Reigns?
Or just watch Raw.
Oh no, wait, Reigns got the match with Lashley. So
Yeah, but Reigns also took over 49 minutes of Raw this week. So
Reigns
they're
also
proving
had
to
that
us,
promo.
and they're proving to us they made an emphasis on they made their point to emphasize the fact that he was wrestling 2 matches that night.
Yeah, like what?
So
what was the,
Right.
why?
That-
like
that
why
could-
try
that could
so
be a thing,
hard?
right? Because you don't have enough talent on the roster that you have to put Reigns
I'm
on there
saying
more than half of the time.
this is exactly why people resist Roman Reigns.
This is why New Japan Wrestling has a following.
I mean, it's the perfect reason to go back to 2 hours.
Yes,
Like,
I'd
if
agree.
you're not going to showcase a talent,
agreed.
then go back to 2.
Quality over quantity,
Exactly.
Baron Corbin comes out and cut a little.
and this is the
promo.
problem. This is the problem. This is the problem.
That is the problem.
Like, why are we here talking about Baron Corbin? Right? Come on.
Horrible segment. Finn Balor comes.
I'm not
out,
gonna lie,
it's all
though.
Crap.
I can say wholeheartedly, I do like this change for Baron Corbin.
No, it's been good.
For him, man. He's getting to interact with more of the roster rather than just feuding with one person at a time. It gives him better mic skill at the end of the day.
I give him that it's a change and he's watchable now. Maybe.
But that Finn promo, was anyone really riled up afterwards? I just wanted to go back and watch his old New Japan.
Pretty
stuff.
chubby.
Nah,
Loved it.
but you like it?
Listen, man.
Baron
Baron Corbin,
Listen,
Finn Balor
man.
promo?
It was alright.
Yo, you can put poopery in a toilet. It doesn't change the fact that it's a toilet. All right?
No matter how many times you polish a turd,
Listen, man. It's Baron
still a
Corbin.
piece of
It's always that
He was
little-
terrible on the
that little
Arizona
nugget.
Cardinals.
It's always that little
He
nugget that
was
comes back.
terrible in the ring. He was
Go
terrible in
Mike.
NXT. He's as
Nah,
terrible
but
as
you
his
know
hairline.
what? You know what? This is the best his character's ever been. So
And that's
I'm
a
with it.
shame.
I'm with it. Because you know what? He doesn't. His matches aren't unwatchable.
No, they're not.
His matches are all right. So with a good storyline and with some solid writing and shit, I think there's.
Well, unfortunately, that's why I have no hope. Because if we have to depend on good storylines and the writers, we might as well take a seat and sit down.
And that's the sad part.
Well, the writers this week found it good to have Elias perform backstage. This week.
Ooh.
Walk with Elias!
They didn't deserve Elias this week. I can say that.
I don't think we deserved Elias this week.
And that's why we only got that backstage clip instead of a
Ooh.
real promo.
I
That's
hope
fine.
I hope they didn't even
To,
show it.
To Liv Morgan.
Where were
right?
they?
The
What,
Riot Squad?
where were they? What city were they in?
It doesn't matter what
It
city.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Elias felt like he didn't need to give them their time.
Agreed. No,
They
but did you guys
deserve
think
it.
that the Riot Squad was about to jump him though?
I thought they were
I
going to
had
smash
that
his
feeling.
guitar.
Yeah,
I was
but I
hoping
had
that.
that
Pretty
feeling.
Chubby Flacco, tell him what's up.
I thought they were gonna break his guitar.
I thought so too, but they were very skillful in not doing that. It left me perplexed
They,
because I kind of wanted to see something happening and see how you spin on it.
they really destroyed that janitor's life.
They did.
Yeah, man, they're knocking over garbage cans. But the thing is, like, there's gotta
And
be
broomsticks.
and broomsticks. But there's gotta be like a consensus amongst heels, right? So like they weren't gonna
That's
break
why I
Elias's
jived it.
guitar,
I
right?
jived
Like
it.
you know.
I jabbed with it, and that means that it's open for business moving forward.
Ooh.
Well, that led to a match with Liv Morgan and Ember Moon, which was a quickie.
It was pretty good, though.
We like to call
I
here.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, Ember Moon beat the odds.
What's Ember Moon's move called?
It's called the
Eclipse.
The eclipse.
Total
So, well, she hit an amazing eclipse on Liv Morgan.
Oh my
What a
God.
sell
That's what
by
she said.
Liv Morgan.
That was
man.
a great sell.
She
Great.
took that move perfectly.
She took,
That's
it
what
back
she
to,
said.
she took it back to the Rock.
Hey, hey,
Yo,
Rock.
for real, she did.
I
She
was,
did.
I was like, oh, she saw some Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah,
Or
she
maybe
saw
Dwayne
that sub.
Johnson.
Whoa.
Did I just make the list?
Holla to Inglewood,
That's
201 Inglewood.
We will
Moving
not
on to
talk
the
about-
to the I believe the better part of the Bailey Sasha segment. They're in the office, and then Dr. Shelby has them perform a little activity where they become themselves and respond. And Bailey has some shots, yo. She threw some shots at Sasha. I thought pretty were funny. She goes, "I have a neighbor who has a cousin who's Snoop Dogg."
Yeah,
Yo,
that
you
was
could
a
tell.
shot heard around
You
the
could
world.
tell Sasha
It was,
like, what?
you know how hurt Snoop Dogg was? He actually performed in Jersey City yesterday for 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everybody. He talked about the fact that Bailey is mean.
It's what?
Snoop Dogg
Is-
said, "I'm upset." He pulled the
She's
Drake.
mean?
Shout out to
I
the Night Job
expected more
podcast.
from
Man, no doubt.
Snoop Dogg.
Big shout out to the Night Job podcast, yo. Roman Reigns and Lashley versus the Revival. This was actually rather interesting. Reigns
Said
believes he was
nobody.
Super Cena.
Blah, 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 blah.
He
Bobby
decides to not
Lashley.
even tag Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley walks out and him getting his ass kicked. Moving
That
on.
was beautiful.
I don't want to talk about Roman Reigns
It's
as
like,
much as they gave him time.
listen, it's like
Rudy Poo.
the WWE is getting very used to regifting the same crap.
Yo, we've seen this matchup already
Dude.
fucking for 4
It's
weeks.
crazy.
I don't want to see this anymore.
Another matchup we saw for 4 weeks, well, at least it felt like 4 weeks. Mojo Rawley and Holloway Jose.
Don't even bring that up.
No.
I give
Mojo
it
Rawley. I
credit
can't
because
say
Mojo
that.
Riley hit it
No,
on the
you
head.
know
No,
what? Nah,
no.
Why do you get a rematch?
Mojo
Why a
Rawley
rematch?
does not like cheeseburger.
Mojo Rawley, we don't like him. So
So you know who's
I'm
not
not
going to
talking about
endorse
this
him?
anymore.
Yeah, let's keep it moving, man. It was not even relevant.
I
You know
mean,
what?
job
But
is
You know
bad.
what is relevant?
That.
The one individual that I think is going to make this Extreme Rules pay-per-view one to remember, and that is the man by the name of Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens is still the
Genius.
best thing on Raw.
That's why I wear his shirt today,
he's slightly more blue.
patriotically. Yes, listen, we talked about it a couple weeks. We mentioned the fact Foley, and as far as that can wrestle, right? He takes the big bumps. He takes the big bumps.
He's not afraid to take the bumps.
No, and he is going up against a man amongst men,
That's not a
the
man.
monster in the bank.
That's
right?
not a man.
Let's look at what they did in Money in the Bank and in every weekly show they've done so far. What do you think is going to happen for Extreme Rule, guys?
Can I just say before we have a prediction there that I think the scariest thing that came out of like Braun Strowman's segment was that voice he did.
Oh my
How did he
God.
do that?
Housekeeping.
Yo, he definitely like just mutated or something. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
That was crazy.
It was like
it started.
he looked like Snoop. He looked like Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost. Just like somebody went inside him. It was like, did the voice. It was crazy, man.
Hey, but that's why he's the future of wrestling.
Yes,
Yo. He really is.
100%.
He really is. Yo. He's got
100%.
charisma. He's got
He's-
athleticism.
and
He's what the WWE wanted Roman Reigns to be, and then they were like, "Oh wait, we just upgraded real quick."
Is he like Vince McMahon's like
Side
built-
piece.
No, like built like this is what he's always wanted.
Yes, it's
Yes,
gotta be.
it
It's gotta
has
be
to
because
be.
he's got the chops.
If it's
He
not
does the
yet, it's
cartoony
getting
shit.
close to it.
He does the cartoon.
He could be funny too.
He could be funny.
He's very funny.
He did the giant cello, right? He did.
He was a big
flipping
baby
cars.
for Adam Rose in NXT.
Yeah. Nah,
He
he'll
was
do
also
a
a big, he
rosebud.
was also a big elf.
Big elf. He was. He was.
He was a big
He
elf.
can put in the work, man. He's respected right now.
Moving on to SmackDown Live, guys.
You mean
Team
the
Hell
better,
No
the
opens
better
the
part
show.
of this company.
Right. It really is, man.
EA show.
I've been able to sit through SmackDown, these 2-hour SmackDowns, like
Until the
nothing,
Usos
enjoy
have been
what I'm
dropping
actually
the
watching.
ball on the mic.
Oh man. Team Hell No opens the show with Renee, and the Usos interrupt the nostalgic promo that we all remember, the arguing, bickering that ends up with a hug eventually, right?
I love Daniel Bryan's like making it a point to show how contradictory that game
Oh,
was.
right.
Yeah,
He pushed it
like
back.
it was great.
Yeah.
Appreciate the continuity there.
It's like he
right?
did that for the internet.
Well, because he's smart. Because that's how you tie up loose ends. You gotta be like, you gotta acknowledge the elephant in the room, right? Yo, I know you tried to kill me. Like, you gotta
Only
talk about
my
that
wife.
real quick. Yeah,
My
yeah.
wife.
Get personal.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, you had like a serious ass feud, and now, oh, we're just buddy.
And you know what I saw this week on TV that I thought I never would see? I saw Kane apologize.
Oh man.
He should never apologize.
First of all,
It's because he's a mayor now.
listen, right? He's
You
a
got an
politician.
election to win, man.
Yo, but here's the thing, right? we're gonna reach back into nostalgia and we're gonna ruffle through the bag, rummage through the bag, and then we're gonna pull out this stupid fucking gimmick from back then when it wasn't even that great back then. I will fight you on that. Like it's really not that serious. And you're gonna put this together. Kane could barely move in the ring. You're gonna severely limit Daniel Bryan's like ability to wrestle other kinds of matches. Like Daniel Bryan's
Is this a trend?
His contract is up in September. So if his contract is up in September, don't you want to get some better matches out of him than Team Hell No?
I agree.
And what are you doing to your tag division that Team Hell No just jumps in the way? Thank you, Usos, for pointing that out.
Yeah,
Right?
They point that
So
out.
SmackDown certainly does a better job at pointing the middle finger at what the obvious.
But then the
fuck up in
Usos
room
dropped
is.
the ball on the rest of the
But,
promo.
but you know what? That's better than what we've gotten, and
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate them coming back.
Listen, there's a trend to recycling ideas, man. It's happening in the movie industry. It's happening in music. It's
Look.
happening in the WWE. It's happening in the NBA.
At the end of the day, though, it's very hard to come up with an original storyline.
It
now,
is.
because everything's been done,
It-
or we think everything's been done.
And I'm sure they said the
But-
same thing in the 70s,
Yeah,
right?
but-
And you had to continue reinventing yourself.
I just think it's a cheap way to keep
It's-
Daniel Bryan out of the heavyweight title picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
really,
it is.
and that's what it comes down to.
You got so much more potential.
Unfortunately.
there, like Nakamura, Bryan, like that was the whole reason he came to WWE,
man.
right? Was to wrestle Daniel Bryan.
Give us that.
So
man.
AJ Styles, Daniel
I
Bryan.
think I think the one thing I'm
that's what we
concerned
wanna
with
see.
the most that at this point I don't see the angle towards SummerSlam.
Right, I don't see that either. I don't see nothing.
So that scares me.
Yeah,
Especially talking about contracts. I mean, I said last week the Miz versus Bryan at Mania, Birdie versus the.
yeah, that's.
You know what I mean?
that's all.
But if he's not gonna be
If-
there,
If SummerSlam is the last time we see Daniel Bryan on a pay-per-view, it's going to be very sad.
yeah,
Because there's nothing, it doesn't seem like there's anything lined up for him.
because
one guy that they could put him with is going to segue into the next match. I think Jeff Hardy. Give him a U.S. title run, or not even a run. Just give him a match.
Yo, he doesn't need a run.
he doesn't. He
Not just a
doesn't.
match. Give him a
Yeah,
match.
just
give him a
want to
fun
see
match.
good
Yo.
matches,
I'll watch
man.
that
Give
good
him
match.
a little
If this is how it ends for Daniel Bryan and WWE, this is an underwhelming return.
put him against
Word
Jeff
on the
Hardy.
Twitter sphere is that
Is that bigger
during
than
this
universe?
match against the Bludgeon Brothers, right? Miz is supposed to interfere, and that's gonna start the feud. If that's what they're writing, they didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
We didn't need Team Hell No to
Not at all.
segue into Miz.
Unless
Miz and Bryan have
you know what,
built-in
guys?
beef.
Guys, you know what I think we're missing the point in, and I don't think this is about Daniel Bryan. If this might be Kane's farewell,
Okay.
Okay, good.
Could be, yeah.
right?
He can
think
go.
about it.
Okay.
No, think about it. He's a mayor, right?
Thank you very
There's
much.
this other stuff happening. Him coming
Yeah,
out
no,
of nowhere.
I get
This
it.
might be the send off. You know, why didn't it do it with the Undertaker? I don't know. But
He's a mayor. He should be gone already. Like, what is he
And
doing
then it stopped
here
Rhino.
still?
Rhino lost.
Jesse Ventura. Yeah, you're right. He did.
Pretty
Lose.
Chubbs. What
He
you
didn't
feel
pick
about
his
Jeff
spots.
Hardy versus the Miz?
I feel
US
nothing.
title?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting.
Not at all.
Yeah,
New Day-
unfortunately, it was
the
not a
New
good
Day-
match.
It really wasn't. New Day has a
And I blame that on Jeff.
pancake eating contest that's interrupted by Sanity.
Yo, first of all, who has a 5-minute contest? No
Last
one is
minute.
Sin
eating.
leche.
Yeah,
Listen.
with nothing to drink for
Yo,
5
leche.
minutes.
Listen,
I don't want to sit there for 5 minutes while these
Listen.
motherfuckers eat pancakes.
listen.
Not even
As
a
a
water
person,
bottle and
as a
drink
person that has participated in the pancake eating contest
Something,
twice,
JP.
It's very dry.
that was an abomination. Okay, I love the color coordinating. That was cute, but there was no liquids, there was no water, there was
Who
no
the
timer,
sanctioning
there was nobody
governing
counting the
body
pancakes.
of
Zero.
Okay,
Pancake-
Where's
somebody
the
could have
warm
choked, somebody
syrup?
could have died. Okay, it was hazardous. That might be part of our extreme matches. Trying to eat pancakes with no milk.
Hey, but Sanity made an appearance, so that's dope, right?
Sanity.
No doubt, man.
It works.
New
Killing
Day
thing.
assaulted, and Woods gets put through some wood when
Whoa.
Eric Young hits
Whoa.
Xavier with a senton up the top
Up,
of the
up, down, down.
of the-
You got a debate.
That never sounded so good.
That's what Paige said.
Oh,
That's on the board!
oh.
That's on the board!
She's the GM.
There she is.
Oh man! After that, Ellsworth versus Asuka, the intergender match.
I was upset.
Ellsworth
I-
and CL.
I thought at least we were gonna see some type of wrestling.
What?
What you think, old school Joe?
It's a little tease.
What you think?
I mean, first of all, Ellsworth was nice. What was it like 2 years ago when they brought his ass in?
Nice. Nice is the word you want to use.
In the sense that
He was
gave me a
chinless.
pee break.
They say you store all your wrestling ability in your chin.
Was it surely?
Vince McMahon.
So he's overachieving.
Overachieving. He's working with Mela. That is overachieving to the fucking nth power.
Of course.
That's crazy.
The man has wrestled AJ Styles for a world champion.
Which is crazy.
I'd get my ass beat.
And he got
just to stand next
smacked
to
by
Carmelo.
Yeah.
and he got smacked by Oscar.
I would have fought Tyson.
Yo,
said
can
nobody
we talk
ever.
about that smack?
Good.
That was the
that
loudest
was a loud
smack
smack.
I've ever heard.
Good. Oscar should be mad. This is what they're making her do.
Yeah, agreed.
This is what she's doing after she had the undefeated
He's like,
streak. After
You
she
have me here
pushed
fight guy
everybody.
with no chin?
It's on the board.
That's gotta be on some board.
Wait. But that means he did have an advantage because you can't put in that Oscar lock. You have no fucking chin to put it.
That's fair. It'll be around
That
his
is
eyebrows.
fair.
He's not gonna tap
Listen,
out.
if they find a way to work into the color commentating, I will die.
I'm sure Corey
Right
Graves
there.
on it.
Yo, I hope he's rubbing his palms as we speak.
Yo, what do you guys feel about that Styles and Rusev feud now, man?
I-
Like it?
Yeah.
I love it.
You
The
know it's gonna
promo
be
was pretty
transitional
dope.
though, right?
Yeah, you know,
it's a
Rusev is
transition.
gonna
No,
lose.
100%.
I think it's one and done.
100%.
But
But
what a waste of a little promo there, but something that we know is gonna end
What you talking about?
with
But
Styles.
that's fine.
Talk
Like,
about it, Vic.
even
One
if
and done.
even if we know, it's still been pretty entertaining to me.
Yeah.
So wait, you
I
think,
like the promo that
appreciate
Rusev came out with. I'm gonna evict you from the house that AJ Styles built. Like, come on, that's
good.
money.
Well, the crowd is,
Like,
is buying it.
If he's ever gonna get another shot at this title, he needs to prove himself now, and he's doing a very good job of it.
So you think he gets a strap? Is that what we're talking about?
Absolutely
No.
not.
Actually,
No.
Absolutely not.
He's already been the marketing's already coming out for Hell in a Cell, and Joe is supposed to face AJ Styles.
Yeah.
you heard it here
Hell in
first.
a Cell.
Oh yeah, and I
So-
saw that. I saw that in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
tweet.
So yeah, if
Yeah.
you follow
So Rusev's,
at
I don't.
HPC too sweet.
Which I'm excited for. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. Yes,
They already
Sign
previewed
me
it in
up.
Japan.
But
That's
Rusev,
never
me
happened before,
Rusev
right?
is a Joe
What's that?
Light.
it never happened in
Joe
TNA.
versus AJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
never at all.
Never.
That
No, that didn't happen.
Never.
One time.
That was the first time ever.
First time ever.
And Rusev is like a Joe Light, right? So like he kind of makes you feel like, oh, he's getting ready for the real thing.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting. I hope it is interesting.
You know, it's all
I hope-
changed since the
yeah.
haircut. I thought Lana would have been there, but it's been the haircut for Rusev.
No,
Um,
it's been him taking charge of his own character.
Damn right.
That's
He
right.
went on social media. He made campaign. Like he was tweeting people, and he made himself popular.
When Vince McMahon told him he was going against the Undertaker, he laughed in Vince McMahon's face. He does not give a crap anymore.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
crazy that he did
Word.
that.
He
That
laughed.
That came out. He laughed, and that's why he got taken off the card for a minute.
Oh.
But the Prince was like, "I want Rusev,"
That is
Damn right.
dope.
and he was
That is
It is a Rusev
he was
day.
commanded by the Prince to wrestle.
that is the greatest Royal
Happy
Rumble.
Rusev Day
greatest
to everyone
Royal
out there.
That is dope.
Happy Rusev
So
Day.
moral of the story is Rusev is the most over in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Becky Lynch defeats Peyton Royce in a snooze fest.
No
Yes.
doubt,
But the promo was dope.
the promo was alright,
The Iconics.
and Becky's is getting
She
Racking up
rolling
the
a little
wins.
bit. Yo,
needs
she's
that-
getting some
she needs that
dubs.
push.
Oh
She needs that
yeah.
push.
Becky
And then now Fluke wins. She's
Nah.
she's hitting her finisher.
she was the first, champion for the Smackdown brand. So come on. We know what it is.
We see a Shinsuke Nakamura promo, but then we move on to the main event, which was the Usos and Team Hell No. I think the stipulation was if the Usos win, they're included in the tag title match.
And did they win? Nope.
Definitely not.
But that would have made this actual title match much more interesting.
It would have
think
definitely
so?
made it more interesting.
What is their problem with 3 or 4 tag teams going after?
I
the
think it's an
strap in a
excellent
match?
idea. I think it's an excellent idea.
Like-
Especially when we're considering
Why does
the type
everything
of,
have to be one-on-one? Like,
especially
Extreme
we're talking about extreme
or
rules,
where,
right?
like what are we doing? We're missing opportunities here.
chaos is
one of the matches that's going to be on our list for sure is involved more than 2 tag teams. You know what I mean?
One of the best matches at Mania.
Well, let's just hope after he listening this week, because Vince will be listening. He changes his mind because there's a few weeks left between now and Extreme Rules.
Vince
Pretty
changes his
tough.
mind 2 minutes before a match,
Yeah.
or in match, during match. You know what I mean?
Pretty Chubby Flacco, NXT, man. Why don't you give us the recap?
Tell them about NXT.
So we start last night's episode with Dakota Kai versus Santana Garrett. Dakota Kai picking up the win.
Get him.
She's been improving every single. Even if she doesn't rack up the wins, she's still having great matches.
I love the fact that she's hanging in the matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We've seen her
she
sell
doesn't
for
look
everybody.
overpowered.
She doesn't look overpowered, especially since last week. Oh man.
Afterwards, we got a promo by the women's NXT champ, Shayna Baszler. Comes out, pretty much calls out the roster and says how nobody can beat her. And after any match, she'll put any woman to sleep. And all you hear is, and still your women's NXT champion.
Well, as much as she's put us to sleep, she did a pretty good job in this last promo.
Wow.
I really like her.
That was money.
Though, to your point.
Yeah, but this past week, I feel like she's starting to get the hang of it. She knows where she has to go with it.
Yeah. She's getting comfortable.
She's getting better.
Every week you have seen a progression. Her reign has not been terrible at all.
Like I said before, man.
In terms of matches, no.
It's reigned in its entirety. The feuds, it has not been terrible.
No, it hasn't.
I think her and Ronda are moving at the same pace right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just for different rosters. Yeah,
And they're gonna eventually.
they'll meet up eventually on the main roster.
Agreed.
100%.
I think they're gonna be ready. When
They'll
that
play
comes
up the friendship storyline.
Oh yeah, they got
It's gonna be good.
With the Four Horsewomen?
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Looks like they're preparing.
Are we talking about a double turn at Mania?
I don't know.
No, they can't handle that. One turn at a time, please.
2 step.
Alright,
So after that, there was a backstage segment.
You know what
with-
there wasn't? Lars Sullivan's jaw.
Oh, broken.
Yeah.
So there was a backstage segment with Kathy Kelly talking to Danny Burch, asking about Oni Larkin, and Undisputed Era interrupted them, which pretty much scheduled a match for next week: Danny Burch versus Adam Cole.
Isn't Kathy Kelly Finn Balor's little?
I don't know if they're together anymore.
Ooh.
I heard they're not.
and that's why he's smiling.
And if that's the case, if that's the case, she might be my future ex-wife.
Oh my. There's a slot open, ladies.
Aim high.
Just remember, Elite Steve.
That wasn't
Karma.
sweet.
I guess that's a no from the gods.
No. You know what it was? Is that Heavy Machinery was the next match.
My boy Otis.
After that, we got the Mighty versus Otis in the 2-on-1 handicap match with the Mighty picking up the win.
Okay.
Otis is gonna be the greatest comedy
He
actor.
has
on the
so
main
much
roster.
charisma, man. His
But he
face.
put up a fight. In
You
that
know what it is?
Oh, yeah.
The facial expressions, man. That's what it sells it, man.
He's great.
How
I
about
love
that?
dude.
How about that worm though?
Oh, that worm was
Hey,
a
hey,
Caterpillar.
Yes, sir.
Watch that.
We're gonna call that the water bug.
So afterwards, we got a promo by the EST of NXT,
That's right.
Bianca Belair.
Well, there.
Ooh.
Oh, hell.
The new
Tennessee.
Sasha Banks of
University.
NXT.
You know what? I
Ooh.
think she could be better than Sasha.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I believe
agree.
so. I mean, that hair
Physicality.
alone.
She's dropped the ball. Yo, Sasha's been falling.
Yeah.
She's gonna be clinging to this Brooklyn match. Wow.
Bianca's hair alone puts fear in you.
But her
Like-
physicality in the ring, man, it
Yeah,
works.
man, she's
As
strong.
green as she is, man, a
She's
CrossFit
strong.
background, track background, basketball background, she's done it all.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
Mm-mm.
Afterwards, we got a.
Hope she's having fun on her cruise. Sorry.
We got a match between Velveteen Dream and Chris Dijak. Hard hitting matchup.
Get him.
So,
Solid matchup.
Velveteen puts on
A show.
matches.
Yo, Dijak is a problem too, man. You talking about a guy about 6'8", right? Moving around like that in the ring, very agile.
Look, we're talking about Lars Sullivan being out for a while. Who's the better person to step into that spot?
Whoever's got a harder jaw.
He ain't drink his milk.
That's a requirement.
Osteoporosis is serious,
Velveteen Dream picks up the pinfall.
of course.
And for the main event of the night, we got Johnny Gargano versus EC3.
EC
That's not a main
3.
event for WrestleMania.
1%.
NX3.
Mm.
Winner
So-
of that is Johnny Gargano.
Is that what's happening?
I think Ciampa started getting to him. I think we
I
might
know
be getting
Ciampa got
this
to
double
me.
turn.
So
Old school. How you
Or
feel
it-
about that?
I hope to God it happens. And being that it's in NXT, there's a higher chance than not we
This
get
is true.
a proper
Before we move
This is
on,
true.
though, like, can we just give credit where credit's due to me? Because I said this almost a month ago.
You
It
did.
was going to happen.
You did.
So everybody clap for me because
Well,
I think,
Boo.
baby
You
faces
could take
out there
this
know,
clap
they
and you
listen every
could,
week,
you
so-
know,
and if you don't like
until
it,
it happens.
turn it off.
Ooh.
Wait, chill. Nah, don't turn it off completely. Like, still.
You know who has it off?
talk
Jay the
shit.
Jobber.
Damn, where's your job at?
Finger Hall, he has it off.
Shout out to Zay
Because he doesn't watch NXT, and that's going to change after NXT take over Brooklyn.
That's right, damn it.
That
That gonna
bum.
get your ass.
So, we're talking about Extreme, right? Extreme. Is that where we're heading right now?
Be the topic of the week.
Extreme matches in history. Is that what we're doing?
We're gonna
Extreme matches in history. So, gentlemen, what are the criteria? Let's go over it.
do- You talking
Gotta be dope storyline.
The storyline has to be fantastic. May or may not have weapons involved, right?
Or
May or
blood.
may not have blood.
May or may not have
But
blood.
highly encouraged.
Highly encouraged and recommended.
It may or may not need Mick Foley.
Ooh.
I think it
A lot of
definitely
matches
needs
needed.
McFoley.
Yeah.
If you look through the archives of all these matches, there's one name that stands true for most of them.
Yo, I could do my whole top 5 with him alone
Mm.
if I wanted to.
Hands down.
But
Agreed. Agreed.
Damn, that man,
Poor Mick Foley.
he deserves a statue.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Patron saint of hardcore right there.
Yeah, that's right.
he has saved many lives moving forward.
Nah.
Because after the things that
By
occurred in his
ruining
matches,
his own.
when things have happened in his matches, have changed the course of wrestling history. The ropes are not as slick anymore because of when he lost his ear. You know what I mean? Like the things have changed. Hell in the Cell's a lot taller and more
There's
padded.
also legitimately they also put in cutouts for
Yeah.
the hands and
Yes.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of Mick Foley,
That's
because
right.
his fucking hands fell asleep trying to
Yeah.
burn his fingers.
See,
Not supposed to consider out of shape, but you know.
Yeah.
But agreed.
yeah,
Sorry,
other
gordito.
than that, definitely weapons.
Pretty Joey Flacco.
Definitely no disqualification.
Yeah, of course. But would it be safe to say that there may be extreme matches that are not legitimate extreme matches? There may be last man standing, I quit matches, maybe a submission match, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
no
that's all-
Those are still pretty
Yeah.
extreme, though.
Lumberjack, maybe
Any
probably no lumberjack.
specialty match I think is up for
Is there any regular match gonna be on?
I don't think on this, not for me at least, I don't think.
I don't think.
But I've seen some pretty good, like, singles matches.
I'm sure
fully
we can come up with an
ruled.
honorable mention that could probably be a regular, if anything.
Okay.
I feel like if it's a regular match, anything that we would consider that would be extreme would kind of force that match to be over with, right?
Well, let's just
True.
be behind the referee's back, right?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
No doubt. No doubt, yeah.
Right.
But let's just throw some names out there. I wanna throw some names. Let's talk tag team.
Okay.
Let's start off easy with
Tag team, extreme tag team matches.
How about the TLC?
Wow.
X7.
You're gonna throw
You
the.
just swung the big
I'm
one.
saying though.
That's just one that comes.
Well, that's the
straight to
most
mind.
memorable one. That's the
Yeah.
one you don't remember the year before when they went at it.
No.
You remember X7,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that just shows that it was a great extreme match.
I think the when you talk about storyline, right? The 3 teams involved, how over each of those teams was, the background behind coming from ECW, right? Already being hardcore to begin with, the interference that you received inside the match itself,
From
Right.
Spike, Rhino,
Lita,
Lita,
you know what I'm saying,
like,
with spots as well.
Lita.
and they all had their place in. Just came out for no reason.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the most important things when it comes to the matches we're going to talk about, how it made you feel, right? And when you saw Edge spear Jeff Hardy
I was sad
off of that ladder, like you held yourself tight because you felt like you got speared,
because I was sad.
you know.
That was a
And you were
sphincter
worried.
tightening moment.
What?
Ooh.
Jeff Hardy has never been the same. That bump was so hard that Matt Hardy's limping.
Oh.
Sorry, Matt Hardy. Sorry, Robbie Sky.
Damn.
So definitely that match is definitely gonna be a top 5. I would.
Oh yeah,
put it
for me,
top 5
for me, definitely.
Yeah. John Cena, Brock Lesnar. Guys, Extreme
think
Rules
so?
2002.
I think the only extreme part about that was the chains.
Got blood.
So yeah,
Was that one of the only bloody matches we've seen in a while? Is that probably why?
I mean Randy Orton getting busted up.
Yeah.
Right,
Like-
that was
If
kinda-
you're gonna talk about a Cena match and getting bloody and all that, then you got to talk about JBL and John Cena.
Yeah.
100%.
Right? Like
Judgment Day.
Listen.
if any of the matches that John Cena has had deserve some mention on this list,
You know why you like,
Yeah.
for example, the Red Cross doesn't do many infomercials anymore? Because these matches that happened in the early 2000s, all the blood spilt. It caused
bringing out
calamity.
canvases for donation.
It was pandemonium
Well, then someone else that deserves mention
at the
on this
blood
list
bank.
It's going to be Eddie Guerrero and
Eddie
JBL.
Guerrero. JBL, Eddie Guerrero, man. Watching that Judgment Day 2004 match, man.
It was crazy.
From that first chair shot to the amount of blood just continuously gushed through the entire match, and he continued to get hit.
It was a waterfall.
There was more blood. There was blood on everybody. On JBL, on
Me.
the ring, on the referees. Like everybody, nobody had gloves. It was so
So the
unsanitary.
story is that Eddie Guerrero, he cut himself too deep,
Yeah.
and he realized it as soon as it happened. But the life goes on, right?
It goes on.
So he wrestled that whole match, gushing.
Gushing blood.
Violent, vicious.
Violent.
That JBL and Cena was at King of the Ring, right?
Yeah, I believe
That-
I
so.
believe so, yeah.
That
No,
break-
Judgment Day. It was a year after.
Judgment Day?
Was that the
05.
year after Eddie passed?
I think so.
Might have been the year after Eddie passed. Yeah, that's the year after Eddie's death.
Well, I thought it was King of the Ring. They kind of made me think of another King of the Ring match. Shane and Kurt.
Shane and Kurt.
Ooh.
Old school.
Shane and
What you
Kurt.
remember about Shane and Kurt?
Concussions
Oh
everywhere.
Well, at least you remember them.
Near death experiences.
I could be wrong, but I heard Vince McMahon was very concerned during that match.
He almost ran out.
He almost
right
ran to the
now.
ring.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame him.
He almost
Shane
broke
was taking
kayfabe. But that's Shane's fault. Because he's in control of his character, right?
Yeah, that's right. You're damn right. And Shane did a wonderful job of holding his character together as much as he could.
That's how he's earned his respect, right?
He earned respect in that locker room.
Together is a very loose term
Ooh.
because he was broken apart.
Yeah,
was
that's
broken
very
apart.
true. But speaking of old school, I guess, what old school recommendations should go on this list?
Well, now I know we're talking about the E right now, but if you go onto a network, there's some stuff from the NWA.
Woo!
Go back to the very first Starrcade. You
Damn.
have Roddy Piper and
Greg the
Allen
Hammer Valentine
in a collar match.
Oh,
my God.
man.
The amount of blood that spilled out. Roddy Piper, early in his wrestling career, managed to injure his ear, so it bled easily. Greg the Hammer Valentine is not someone who's known for being a light worker.
Oh.
So you put those
Lays
two
it on
together,
thick.
and Roddy no longer is able to hear after this match. Comes as close to being deaf as you can be without actually being deaf.
That's crazy.
That's wild, man.
Who else we got on this list?
And you saw remnants of that on that reality show they did with the old veteran wrestlers living all
Yeah.
together.
Right?
Saw some of that.
Legends House.
Legends
The
House.
Legends House. Yeah, you
Legends
saw
House.
that. It's hard to hear.
I can bring up a match that I thought was pretty extreme. I don't know if you guys remember this one, but Vince McMahon versus The Undertaker in a buried alive match.
Mm.
Not even 2 seconds into the match, and Undertaker hits Vince with a stiff right, and from there it's all downhill for
You think
Vince's
it was
face.
a work?
Absolutely.
So he bladed, essentially, right?
Yeah.
From the very
Because it automatically, immediately just.
Well, if you watch it back, I think Taker takes him down with one, and as soon as he comes back, once he
Yeah.
connects with the second punch,
That's when
That's when he started
I guess
gushing.
He started gushing, so
Yes,
I
he played.
probably opened it up with
Everything
that.
after
And
that
you know
though was
what?
a shit show for
And you know
Vince
what?
because he took a shovel point blank to the
Yeah.
face.
I think his face was imprinted in the shovel afterwards.
Memories
Looked like
of a
Wilson.
good time.
And you know
On a
what?
shovel.
Anytime your boss is willing to take those type of bumps and hits, man, hey,
It's gotta energize you.
Yo, those
Hell yeah.
headshots will
Makes you
feel
work.
A little scared too.
I-
That
a little
means
scared
expect
too.
that from you.
I wish I could do that to my
I mean,
boss.
but
I'll just
I mean,
put it
listen, that was part of wrestling. If you remember Dusty Rhodes' forehead, if you remember Jack Van Daniel's forehead, Harley Race, I mean, these men, Carlos Colon, these foreheads, those are not wrinkles, ladies and gentlemen. New Jack City, right? Like,
Shit,
dude,
New Jack
come
City.
on.
Wow.
These are not wrinkles, ladies and gentlemen. These are blading to the face. This is how hardcore it got. We saw Sabu live,
They
and
look
the man
like a
looks just.
topographical map of Utah.
We
Hamburger
saw
meat.
Sabu live, and Sabu, man,
Talking about
he's
Sabu.
all cut up.
You guys remember Sabu versus Rey Mysterio
Mm.
at One
A
Night
match
Stand?
that didn't end well for either.
They don't. Neither of them remember that match. Ended with a dope spot, right? Sabu jumping to the outside, Rey Mysterio bouncing on the barricade to like a flying DDT kind of.
Flying DDT.
Both of them are dead. Yeah, so they both knocked each other out like they boxing themselves.
Cracking skulls.
And
right?
this definitely deserves an honorable mention, but we've got to find, there's got to be more
I heard-
extreme ECW matches on this list, right?
Well, you
Has-
mentioned Sabu, and the one that comes to mind right away is Sabu versus Terry Funk for the
Ooh.
World Championship
Yes.
in a barbed wire match. where, if I remember correctly, Sabu's bicep gets torn open.
Yes.
Yes.
At the end, they were wrapped so much in the barbed wire they had to bring out bolt cutters to separate them.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a human
There's blood
being.
everywhere.
There's
ECW was
Whole nother game.
yeah.
countless memories with that company, I guess.
Yes, I agree.
Mick Foley and Edge, WrestleMania, Flaming Table.
Was
Honorable
that the
mention?
first? Was
Honorable
that the first
mention,
flaming
yeah.
table on the E?
I want to believe so.
And it was in a Mania.
Listen,
Yeah. That's the first one in Mania.
Mick Foley and his many iterations are gonna have many mentions.
Oh yeah,
If
of
you're
course.
gonna bring them up, you gotta talk Cactus Jack, Triple H.
Ooh.
God.
Well, as an
Well,
honorable
well.
mention, maybe we should talk about Randy Orton and Cactus Jack or Mick Foley, right?
Was that the Legend Killer storyline?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where he got
as an
thrown
honorable
into them
mention,
tacks.
right? He got the thumbtacks. I mean, he spoke about it on storytelling in WWE Network, where he didn't realize he didn't have a shirt on.
Speaking of thumbtacks, I don't mean to veer off here, but I think most of us forgot about this. Jericho versus Ambrose. I think it was the Ambrose Asylum match.
Oh yeah.
Where Ambrose gets fully slammed onto thumbtacks. That was a really good match, and
That's a
I
good
think a
match.
lot of us forgot about that one.
Oh,
I
God.
remember that
was
one.
on my list at all.
Yeah,
Well, maybe it's because Ambrose is gone for a little bit.
Maybe.
I think that's
I
what.
forgot
My,
about
and
Ambrose
Jericho.
completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
By the
Definitely
way,
that Cactus and Hunter that Mischief was saying. Yeah.
shout out to Ric Flair pulling out thumbtacks out of Randy Orton's butt after his
That's
match
not
with
what I
Mick Foley.
it was this 24 special.
Was an ancient.
I think it was the storytelling.
Other than
Nah.
that ladder match with Edge,
I quit with Terry Funk.
which was very softcore porn.
Wow. Well, since we're talking about
Softcore porn.
Terry Funk,
Yeah, man, Terry Funk.
Terry Funk's got to be all up in this conversation, right? All he did was extreme matches. There was no regular match for that man.
No.
Mick
Same
Foley
sort,
would tell
Todd.
you that he's just a poor man's Terry Funk.
Do we have to mention the death match
That's-
with Cactus? I guess that goes
You have to. I think it has to be
What
one
do
of the
you
most.
mean? That might
Listen,
be number one.
Any
He's messing
match where the pyrotechnics are in the ring. Come on, you're wrestling.
C4s.
It has to be an extreme conversation.
God.
I don't
was
understand how
called
people survived.
around. A death match for a reason.
Right. To wrestle with something that blows up, it's not something you can prepare.
I mean,
Who
we're
okayed
not.
this? Who gave them the permit for this? Were
You
they really
but you know
wanting
the
that
problem is-
insurance money?
If we know one thing about Mick Foley is that he comes up with a lot of these ideas, man. And I'm sure he and Terry brought it. They worked on the idea together. They brought it to the attention that y'all want to do that.
You know who Mick Foley
All right,
is?
cool.
Mick Foley is Bam Margera,
Yeah.
right?
Oh shit!
And you know how he
But he looks like
draws.
Phil Martin.
Yeah, but
If Bam Margera ate himself.
Sorry, Neil. Sorry, Noah.
but he like draws his stunts and shit, and he faxes them over with like crayon. Yo, that's probably how Mick Foley thinks of all this shit.
Agreed.
You remember
He's an author.
the beginning of Deadpool when he's like sketching out with a
Sketching out.
crayon what he's
Yeah.
about to do? That's
Mick
Mick Foley.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. In a
Pretty
nutshell.
much. Pretty much.
In a nutshell, man.
What else we got? What
Well,
we got?
you know, one person's afraid of ladder matches. Jim Cornette, man. Shout out to his match.
For good reason after that.
Shout out to
Old school Joe. Can you talk about that match a
Yeah,
little bit?
man. Fill us in on that.
Well, it wasn't a ladder; it was actually a scaffolding.
Scaffolding. Sorry.
So Midnight Express and the Rockers, going at it, and the spot was supposed to be Jim Cornette dropping down and being caught by Big Bubba Rogers, aka Big Boss Man. Apparently, Boss Man became enamored with the lights.
ADHD is a bitch.
As good old Corny was plummeting, there was no one there to catch him, and his knee exploded.
Oh my. Yes, his knees.
That's very visceral of you.
You know, another time
Speaking of
Big
visceral.
Boss Man got, distracted by the lights was the time he was hung from a noose by the Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell. Talking about extreme.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that
Jeez.
was rough to watch.
Well,
I
something-
hated that.
Something the Undertaker did that deserves at least a mention on this
Just
list,
a
right?
mention.
This
Quickly,
throwing
real quick.
Rikishi off
my
Hell in a Cell,
Oh my God.
right?
The Usos are still mad.
Oh, just Rikishi? Okay.
That poor truck. I felt so bad for the truck.
The truck.
Nah, but if we're gonna start talking serious, then Undertaker has thrown other things off the top of Hell in a Cell, and that's
Phil Margera.
My
Mrs.
dignity.
Foley's
My
old boy.
dignity.
Phil Margera.
Oh my God.
No,
Listen.
that was That's gonna be a classic. I don't think
That's my number one.
this is gonna be 2 episodes in a row where we cover this damn match. And
Yeah.
it's not gonna be the last. You're not gonna.
No.
It doesn't get old at all. This is
It changed the business. Listen, the steel cages are reinforced. The Hell in a Cell is higher than ever now. There's more padding on all the tables. These matches change the course of history of wrestling industry as a whole, and they're always going to be talked about. Because extreme.
Extreme match. I want to mention Triple H and Shawn Michaels went at it at
No.
Armageddon.
No.
And,
We're doing the Hell in a Cell of that feud. We are
No
not
doubt.
doing this one because Hell in a Cell was the most brutal Hell in a Cell I've ever seen up until that point.
For
Maybe even
that point.
after.
for honorable mention, how about we have the first Boiler Room Brawl, SummerSlam
Mankind.
'96,
Oh.
Mankind Undertaker.
That was the early Foley's baby boy getting his feet wet. That was crazy, man. Big ups to that. Shout out to that match.
How about that? How about that Raven versus the Big Show and Kane?
Triple
For the
Threat at
hardcore
Mania.
Oh yeah, man.
That match was I
Shout out
saw,
to all those.
I remember-
hardcore matches, man.
yeah,
They had
man.
for the
and
belt,
they were
shit,
defending it 24/7.
24/7.
I mean, I just remember feeling concerned for Raven because Big Show and Kane are big guys. He was getting thrown to windows. It's like it just didn't mix. Didn't mix.
I'm trying to.
But he won.
Any memorable Raven Flock extreme matches we can mention here.
Quote the Raven nevermore. I know
feel
Eric
like
Bischoff
Dave
is not a fan.
done it to himself, like a bunch of hardcore matches under his belt.
I mean, you watch any of his ECW feuds, whether it was with Sandman or with Tommy Dreamer, it was always some sort of hardcore caning or decapitation with a freaking chair.
Shout out
If you
to
guys
the-
remember that chair shot where he had Tommy tied up to the
Oh,
cage,
yeah.
that was
defenseless.
just
Defenseless.
very violent moments.
I think most Balls Mahoney matches were pretty extreme.
Yeah.
Balls.
Oh my gosh.
Balls.
Do you guys
Balls.
remember the Taipei death matches?
Yes.
Oh god.
Yes.
Glass taped up in the fist.
Oh man.
Wow.
It was
Oh.
what CZW wants to be.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't know if everybody will remember this one. Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam.
Ooh.
I
Back
do
in the
not.
day.
Yeah.
We gonna talk about Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. Is that an extreme match?
I mean,
It was a
Softcore.
a-
It was
a submission match. Oh, no,
It was
yeah.
a submission match and no disqualification match. I think.
submission match, I think. No DQ on it, and we all remember the crimson mask that Austin wore that night.
The storyline, the double turn, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
intensity, him passing out from the blood gushing from his head.
And
And was that a blading job? I don't remember. I don't think it was.
know. I will say that it got a lot of people. That match got a lot of people on Austin's side.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much the birth of the character of Stone Cold.
Right.
It was the big double turn, man. It
Uh,
turned
huge.
Bret Hart heel.
Huge.
How about we mentioned Cactus and Hunter at the Royal Rumble, where it was very violent. Actually, Foley was handcuffed in that
Yes.
match. But the year right before that,
Yes.
was,
They did it to him
was
again.
a lot worse in my eyes.
Listen, it was
and this is
disgusting.
definitely on our list.
And
It's definitely on the list.
Got to be in my heart. Is one of the
Royal
top
Rumble
5
'99.
candidate. But Rock and Mankind, I Quit match, very violent. If you watch No Holds Barred, you know the backstory behind this match. It was
Beyond the mat, right?
beyond the match.
Did Rocky go overboard?
That's what
That's
they're
they're
saying,
claiming.
yeah.
And if you remember watching it, man, he hit him over 11 times while he was handcuffed right over the head, the same exact spot, man.
Yeah.
And it was with no remorse. And if you watch Beyond the Mat, you see the backstage coverage, kind of like whatever.
Talking
There's
about
Kids with it,
CTE.
man.
It looked like he was like upset. He was, having to hand the belt over.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna see, unfortunately, in the next 30 years, the after effects of that match, beyond all the other matches.
Shit just got real.
I mean, lucky for us, he seems to be in pretty good health, minus his Enzo walking 90% of the time. But
Yeah.
he looks in pretty good health, and
He's
that's
written
that's
books
great.
afterwards.
Yeah, it's really great to see that he's stayed in such good health.
He also gave us Noel.
Oh, of
Thank the
course.
gods.
Yes.
Great point, Pretty Chubs.
And that must have been extreme.
Now hide your
But
chest. Another match I want to cover is the Elimination Chamber.
first of it,
First one.
the first of it.
A lot of people like the second one. I was there personally for the first one.
You bougie bastard.
But
That confetti.
I really wish I wasn't, since I was not a Shawn Michaels fan at that time.
At that
I
time,
was
when were you?
over 97.
What? Oh, nice.
It was only years later, right? Sue me. But
Oh, so you like the religious Shawn Michaels? That's what it was. All
I
right.
just hated his guts overall. But, you know,
Why he's a sexy boy?
Because he thought he's cute.
he
But
thought
he
he was
knew
sexy,
he was sexy,
He's got the looks.
and the crowd was going wild.
and he wasn't Bret Hart. Garbage.
Zing.
Oh.
Really, no.
You know what's the
We
most
just
extreme
really-
match
we
in Bret
really
Hart's
just
career?
walked into that one.
As Bill Goldberg.
Oh.
Shout out to that.
Triple Cage.
Hot take.
We gonna throw in some elimination chamber matches or not?
Why
The first one I like.
First
Rob
one's
Van
the best
Dam
one.
nearly kills Triple H with a frog splash on the throat. Couldn't breathe.
I don't know why this just came to mind. Shout out to Superfly Snuka jumping off the top of the cage, man. Memorable moments
Yeah.
Yes.
and an extreme
Yes.
time, right? That was for its time. It was,
Hey, the ladder
He
We-
match.
inspired a young Mick Foley.
it did.
I mean,
It did.
Shawn and Razor.
we can even talk about Undertaker Shane. When Shane jumped off the
It's all
Cage.
Everything that Shane jumped
32?
off of.
WrestleMania
Yeah.
I was there live. I was
Jumped
there
off that
live.
helicopter.
On my honeymoon.
Pretty tough with the helicopter.
Steve Blackman versus Shane, though, jumping off the Titan.
That was crazy. But if we're gonna talk about that, we might as well talk about Jeff voluntarily swantoning off of things like that.
Raw
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what was a pretty extreme match? Honorable mention. The Shield versus Evolution.
Oh yeah.
Royal Rumble.
man.
That was
Yeah.
really good.
That was a really good match.
They had some solid matches.
It was a really good
What was
match.
that
Remember
Shield
off the
match?
corner on the tables and everything?
Yeah.
ECW-esque? Wow.
It was a
Um,
Shield match at the beginning with Ryback.
The TLC,
TLC.
where CM Punk got injured, so they had to insert these guys in. And
Yeah.
what a match.
Yeah, that
Except
was
Ryback sucks.
Yeah.
Fight me.
Unfortunately.
Fight me.
trash.
I'll get my ass kicked, but fight me.
Just put food in front of him.
Because-
he does
yeah,
I hear him.
because he almost destroyed Seth Rollins' head.
Seth Rollins almost killed Sting, so fuck.
Who? Who do you almost?
Yo, so who's your five?
The icon.
So who's number 5? Right, we gotta start putting this
All
together.
right,
right?
so can we first gotta cover how many Mick Foley's matches are allowed in this damn thing?
3.
As many as there needs to be.
3.
Three faces. of
Because I can
Foley.
go on 5 right now.
I mean, it takes 2 to
damn,
tango,
number
so-
5, yo.
If listen, you know what? Screw all that noise. The man deserves it. If he deserves to be in multiple matches in the top 5, he will be.
All right, so what do we?
That's right, Joe. You tell him.
He's suffered enough. Let him have his 3. All right.
You're right.
There's like 27.
Who are we juggling though? Who are we picking from? We picking from obviously the death match between Terry Funk and Cactus Jack. With
The only thing that hurts that for me is I didn't watch it live. Right. So that's what hurts that match for me because I can imagine seeing that live.
right
That must have been an experience of a lifetime.
Hell in a Cell.
Hell is a cell.
Hell in a
I
Cell.
saw that live.
I think that's gotta be.
That's gotta be number
Yeah.
1.
Taker Mankind.
Have to.
That's number 1 for me.
The Rock
I mean-
Mankind.
That's gotta be number 2.
Cactus Jack,
For
Triple
me,
H.
that's more like number 4 for me.
If
Yeah.
we're gonna say Rock and Mankind, I'm not gonna take Triple H and Cactus. Only because I feel the Rock and Mankind was much more.
And I forgot that the
Gruesome.
Triple H and Cactus was the second time they did it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a repeat.
Right.
of what
It was a
happened.
repeat of what happened the year before. So,
Right.
but so the first time is more jarring,
I'll
right?
negotiate that. That's,
Yeah, so I'll put. I'll
Is that number 2 though?
no,
Well,
No.
I haven't put no order.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
putting.
so.
I'm just putting out what we.
So
put.
that's definitely gonna be the top 5
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Top 5.
Maybe number 4, maybe number 3.
Are we talking about TLC? Obviously.
TLC.
TLC gotta be.
Damn,
It's gotta
TLC's been in that top
TLC
5
2.
multiple times.
It's
Yeah.
for me, it's number 5 because it wasn't crazy extreme like the other ones, but it was pretty damn extreme.
Yeah, it was extreme. I mean, the spots
I
on
think
that
I'm
match.
comfortable with TLC number 5.
All right, it gives
I think
opportunities for other
comfortable with
matches.
And I mean, at the end of the day, Team Extreme was involved.
So
So,
who we all comfortable with TLC at 5?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I
agree.
can compromise for that.
All right.
But 4 better be fucking good.
Damn. And
think-
I'm scrolling through these things right now.
Kurt,
man.
Kurt and Shane.
I saw that Kurt and Shane highlight. And I'm just like,
That might be
wow,
3 or
man.
2 though,
Kurt and Shane.
because
Yeah, because the only other one I could argue with that one maybe would be maybe JBL and John Cena or
JBL.
Yeah.
JBL Eddie, right?
Yeah.
Eddie.
Eddie.
If you're gonna do any JBL match,
JBL Eddie.
JBL
The
Eddie.
I like
storyline,
JBL Eddie number 4.
you know, his mom about to be his maid. Like
Or number 3.
they took it too far.
But
I was watching that match today, and it felt too close to home.
On the go home show, his
Especially,
mom
yeah.
legit had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Talk about extreme.
Damn, man.
Should we put all of Jerry the Lawler's sexual encounters?
Lord, man. It's on the board. We can't
Because
play
it ends up extremely in the hospital.
Oh, man. All right, so 5 is TLC.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Who? 4.
That's where we at.
It's for
Jerry.
4.
4 I can put in. I'm with Eddie JBL.
So are we saying Eddie JBL
But I'm
is
also
less
for it
extreme
moving
than
up.
the Shane and Kurt?
Well, so
That's what
who's
I'm-
3, who's 4?
Yeah,
That's what
I
I'm saying.
think,
So 3 and 4.
I think Kurt and Shane are 4.
I
Okay.
think Kurt.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
JBL and
Okay.
Eddie are 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So
But-
now we're talking. The last 2 spots we got is the death match,
And the
the
Hell in a Cell.
Cell,
And the Rock and
and the Rock
Mankind.
and Mankind.
The Rock and Mankind has to go number 2. If we're gonna put those other 2 there, we gotta put it at number 2.
Whoa, but you're saying that these next 2 selections, the
One's gonna go home.
Hell in a Cell, the death match is just out of the top 5.
Maybe
The death match.
I would take.
it
I would
didn't-
take out Rock and Mankind and leave the last 2.
I would take out JBL and Eddie
JBL and Eddie and
and put the Rock
Disrespect.
and
put the
Mankind.
Rock and Mankind. Oh.
So here's my thing with the King of the Death matches, right? Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's crazy. But how many people outside of hardcore wrestling fans know?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's why.
Take it off the list.
Listen, it's gonna get mentioned because one of the first, right? We gave respect to Bruno Sammartino last week, but he
And we
wasn't in
gotta
our
keep
top 5.
consistency. We gotta
Right,
keep
listen.
consistency. So you know
Good
what?
save, old school
Great save
Joe.
with that. Old school.
Appreciate it.
We gonna scrap the death match out. Let's scrap that. We gonna talk.
So
Hell in
then-
a Cell,
Number
Taker
1.
Mankind, or Rock and Mankind,
Number 2.
or
That's it.
no, that's it. Yeah, that's
That's
it.
it.
So
That's it. That's the.
Is
that's
that
You
the
got order.
list?
You got the
That's
order.
the list.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
list?
That's top 5.
Yeah.
So
That's not bad with that.
TLC at number 5.
I know there's a lot we didn't mention.
There is.
Oh,
There's a
oh,
lot.
Honorable mention: Johnny Wrestling,
Well, that's what
Tommaso
the
Ciampa.
baby. That's what the
Let's,
baby.
we honorable mention.
Oh,
Shit.
Tom,
What about
Street
Vader?
fight.
Who?
The
I'm gonna have to
Street
wrestle
fight
that
that just happened.
TLC.
Huh?
I'm gonna have to wrestle that TLC and put Johnny Gargano and Ciampa number 5. Man.
think
Wait,
so?
the unsanctioned?
Or
the Chicago Street
Fight.
Chicago
Takeover.
Street
I don't
Fight.
think
Chicago
either of
Street
them
fight.
know.
So
I don't think either of them.
See,
Nah.
because the death match,
No,
We're
that
talking
last
about
one.
matches that changed the
I
industry,
don't
right?
know how many people are watching NXT
Extreme
outside
matches.
subscribers, right?
Exactly. Nah, it was a great
It was
extreme
great,
match,
yeah.
but I don't think it's top 5 worthy.
Yeah, you're right. I'm
think
kind
it's
of
top 5
hyped
worthy.
in the moment.
I'll put that
since
top
it just
20, top
happened,
20.
so-
Yeah.
Because you could
Nah, I
add
feel
war
you.
games into
Definitely
that.
up there.
That war games they had at NXT was
Yeah.
amazing. You know what I mean? But it's not
That
top
ladder
5.
match, I think.
That ladder match,
Yo,
5-star match.
Hold on, we gotta mention Vader poking somebody's eye out.
Of
Vader's
course.
Oh,
finished.
hell
We talked
yeah.
about it a couple weeks ago. Later in New Japan,
knocking
Stan Hansen.
Vader's
out of a
eye right up
chokehold.
there.
Wasn't it a chokehold? It was trying to headlock or something.
Nah,
Yeah,
he
like
poked
his eye
he
out.
poked him
Yeah,
in the
that-
eye.
And he like tried to
His-
push it back in.
His
and
eye
he
was
kept
hanging on his
wrestling.
cheek.
He wrestled like for 25 minutes more, man.
It wasn't a word.
Crazy, taking spots and everything.
But
should we honorable mention to the real life extreme story of Edge and Matt Hardy because of Lita?
Hey, yo.
They were taking some shots. It was a terrible match.
Well, the first match ended because they were going too hard on each other.
exactly.
Vince had to pull him aside and be like, "Hey, look, this ain't happening. You're gonna get fired."
It's what happens when you break that fourth wall.
But I feel like the best matches have come off of real life feuds. So
of course, you got to let
he
that
was right
energize
to
it.
let that happen. But
A little too close for comfort.
it just got it got a little too
You know where?
crazy.
You know where it got a little too far too. That's Chris Benoit and.
Oh,
He's
my
on the floor.
God.
No. Wrap this up. No.
You mean
Number
Kevin
5.
Yes, Kevin Sullivan.
Is
Sometimes you leave your
TLC.
wife at home.
TLC.
Honorable
TLC,
mention.
number 5.
Honorable
TLC
mention
number
to
5.
the ring and its extreme match versus Sid Vicious.
Jesus.
Honorable mention to the ring during any Brock Lesnar.
Big Show and Brock.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Word.
/ Mark Henry /
Braun
Braun
Strowman,
Strowman, yeah.
Undertaker Kane Inferno match.
Boo.
It was as warm as the flames.
Kane versus MVP.
Number 5. TLC.
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 5. I'm with it.
Number
Yeah.
4.
Number 4. Shane
Shane
and Kurt.
That King of the Ring.
Kurt.
Shane and Kurt. Taker, King of the Ring.
Number 3.
Number 3 is
Eddie.
Eddie and JBL.
JBL Eddie. I like
And then
this.
The Rock and Mankind.
Rock and
Rock and
Mankind
Mankind
in the
number
I Quit
2.
match.
And
Then number 1.
And
Number
then number
one.
1,
One of the most iconic matches ever.
I think he's dead.
which happened 20 years ago.
gentlemen, I think we can safely say it may be the most extreme match we'll ever see.
Oh, yeah.
We'll never see something like
With the
that.
tooth
Oh,
in the
yeah.
nose.
Yes.
And check us out on IG. We'll be posting this match in its entirety on IGTV this week.
And
Keep
check
an
us
eye out
out
for that.
on Twitter if you don't like this list.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that's,
if you
that's
disagree.
another thing. These baby
Give
faces
us-
gonna cry again like they did this
Well,
match.
We had a couple.
match where he fought everybody and won.
That's right.
We had a couple Roman fans coming after our boy Mischief over here.
That's not a thing.
It's
That's not a thing. It's not
But-
gonna happen.
You're not gonna win,
It's not gonna happen.
so don't try
So
it.
come see me on some
on the tweets.
heat, because you're gonna get some heat.
On
Sunday
the
night
tweets.
heat.
Roman fans are in denial.
Let's
On the
get it.
tweets.
They're in
So whoever
denial.
won it at HPC2 Sweet.
That's all the time we have for you folks this week. Check us out on SoundCloud, Stitcher, wherever you. No, now on iTunes as well.
You best not forget.
Woo!
Someone
Specific-
fancy.
specific- Don't forget to search for us, Heels, Pops, and Chair Shots on iTunes.
Yes.
But check us out, and we are out of here. Too sweet and out. 10
JP.
count to the 10 toe. 10 count to 10 toe.